Welcome to YUKO. Today, we are focused on the inner thigh muscle to improve mobility of the hip joint. Most of the time, we focus on the external rotation of your hip joint, which means you are stretching inner thigh muscles, just stretching, but we never focus on contracting. And a lot of us, you have a lot of external rotation by stretching, but there is no strength to do internal rotation. And today's focus is feel and create sensation of internal rotation to balance your inner thigh and outer thigh to improve hip mobility. But we're gonna start from cat-cow floor movement. Cat-cow is a wonderful movement. Today we want to focus on movement on the hip joint, but you can focus on the abdominal muscle, shoulders and neck, and the whole spine. So when you do the cow pose, they're just squeezing, so flexion of hip joint, focus on that. And exhale, lift your pelvis to extending hip joint, hip flexion. And inhale, cow to squeeze your hip joint. And exhale, lift your pelvis, cat pose to open up. And inhale, cow spine. And exhale, cat spine to open your hips. Do one more. Inhale, cow, squeeze your hip joint. And exhale to lift your pelvis to open up. And go ahead to coming up to downward facing dog. And go ahead to paddle your feet to loosen up your lower back. And go ahead to walk to your hands. And go ahead to slowly sitting up. And I want you to leg a little wider than hip width. And toes and knees are pointing forward. So I want you to leg your, wide as you can without pointing toes out. So toes and knees are pointing forward. Find the limit of how wide you can open leg without rotating your hip joint. So from here, hands at the heart center, and feel like you have an imaginary block between thigh. And I want you to squeeze the imaginary block. Toes and knees are pointing forward, and use your exhale to push the imaginary wall with your sitting bone. So inhale to straightening legs, exhale squeezing imaginary block, and push imaginary wall with your sitting bone. Push. And inhale to slowly standing up, extending hip joint. And exhale, squeeze imaginary block and push imaginary wall with your sitting bone. Push. And inhale to straightening leg to extending hip joint. And exhale, squeeze imaginary block between thigh and push imaginary wall with sitting bone to squeezing hip joint. And if it's possible, align knee and heel. And inhale, slowly straightening. And exhale, squeeze your imaginary block. Move your sitting bone to the back, pushing imaginary walls. Do 3 more. Inhale, slowly standing up, release your hip joint. And exhale, squeeze imaginary block, push imaginary wall with sitting bone. Push. Inhale to slowly standing up, release your spine, release your hip joint. And exhale, squeeze imaginary block, push your sitting bone to the back, push imaginary wall with it. Push. Do 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, push your imaginary wall, squeezing imaginary block. Squeeze. And go ahead and bring your hands on the floor. And straightening leg, walk your hands forward, come into halfway up position. And take a deep inhale to lengthening spine. With exhale, bring your feet closer without bending knee. How far you can come, you're just taking. Well, what kind of mobility you have in your hip joint. Doesn't matter how close you can get. And keep your legs straight. Go ahead and hands on the leg. And slowly walk your hands up to safely standing up. So opening up your hip joint. And go ahead and open arm and take a deep inhale, lengthening spine. So from here, I'm going to say here. And exhale, bend your spine to the left, slice, reach back. Diagonal movement. And inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, bend to your right and reach back just a little bit so you can open up your left hip flexor. Inhale to the center, lengthening spine. Exhale, bend to your left to the back to open up your right hip flexor. Again, when you do this, make sure toes and knees are pointing forward. Inhale to the center. Exhale, bend to your right to the back. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, bend to your left to the back to open up your right hip flexor. Inhale to the center. Exhale, bend to your right and reach back to engage left hip flexor. And go ahead and coming back to center. Again, open legs wider. And this time, okay, toes and knees are pointing forward. So open leg farther you can go. And take a deep inhale. Now exhale, slowly hinge from your hips to come down. So your spine stays straight and walk your halfway up position. And take a deep inhale. And keep your spine straight. And exhale, start walking hand to your right hip close as you can. And take a deep inhale. Now exhale, squeezing right hip joint to bow down. So if you're internal rotation here, inhale, and exhale, squeeze right hip joint to bow down. Two more, inhale, and exhale, bow down to squeeze your right hip joint. One more, inhale, and exhale. And go ahead and flip your right foot to the side and coming into low lunge. So coming into low lunge from here, and make sure right knee stays right above your foot, and walk your hands about 45 degrees, and we are going to twist. So start with, go ahead and keep your right hand at the waist, and take a deep inhale to lengthen spine, space between sitting bone to the top of your head, and exhale, rotate your neck to look up. Another inhale, lengthen spine, and exhale, squeeze right shoulder blades to open up your chest. Again, keep your knee right above your foot. Then inhale, lengthen both obliques. And exhale, lift your navel center to deepen a twist. And then inhale, and twist. And make sure you keep your chin tucked, not pushing your chins up. So I say keep your chin tucked. If possible, extending right arm over ear. And inhale to lift chest. And exhale, lengthen right arm. Another inhale, lift chest. And exhale, lengthen right arm, deepen a twist. One more inhale, exhale, bring your right hand to the floor and coming into wide leg forward bending. You're going to shake your hips side to side to see how you feel on the right side and left side. And we are moving on to the other side. So go ahead, coming up to halfway up position, toes and knees are pointing forward, spine straight. And go ahead and walk your hands to your left foot, keep your spine straight, inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, bow down to squeeze your left hip joint. Feel like you got engaging left inner thigh. Inhale, lift your spine. And exhale, bow down, squeezing left hip joint. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And go ahead and flip your left foot open and coming into low lunge, other side. So coming into low lunge and walk your hands to the right side about 45 degrees and knees stay right over your foot, left hand at waist. And take a deep inhale and exhale, rotate your neck to look up. Another inhale, lengthen both sides of the obliques. Exhale, squeeze left shoulder blades to open chest. Another inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, lift your navel center to deepen a twist. Another inhale, lengthen spine. And exhale, lift your chest. And if possible, keep your chin in, extending left arm over ear. And take a deep inhale, lengthening neck, and exhale, lengthening arm, deepen a twist. So you feel inner thigh, left inner thigh muscle is engaged. Two more breaths, inhale, exhale, twist. One more inhale, lengthening left arm, exhale, twist. And go ahead and bring your left hand to the floor. And go ahead and coming back to wide leg forward bending. And coming to halfway up position. And take a deep inhale. Now exhale slowly, slowly. Bring your feet closer without bending knee. Maybe this time you can bring your feet together or not. We're just checking. So once you reach your limit, and keep your spine straight for the safety, walk your hands up on the leg to slowly, slowly standing up. And inhale, arms up, lengthening whole body, open up your hip flexor. And exhale, hands at heart center. So how did you do? Your standing forward bending got deeper? I hope so. Hopefully this was helping somebody somewhere today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like my video, follow my channel, and come see me more. And thank you so much, and see you next time.